Hey guys, welcome back to the Guide. My name is Abby, and today we are doing our chakra healing video for the week. And I'm gonna be using the Game of Thrones tarot deck again because y'all know my sister got me this for Christmas. I've been using it lately, and I just really like it. And also, Game of Thrones comes out this month, so I've been in a Game of Thrones mood. So we're gonna do that. I already shuffled the cards and I already pulled the cards because I'm trying to make the videos a little bit shorter. Bottom of the deck is the Emperor and the Two of Wands, which I'm not surprised that Aries energy is kind of really hard this week in the reading. It's kind of everywhere. So let's talk about it. First of all, we have a new moon in Aries this week. So I am not surprised that the Aries energy is coming up. Like a lot of it, it's like y'all getting pushed, but y'all don't want to do anything about it. And it's cute. Y'all could do with the emotional stuff while the moon is in Pisces. But once the moon goes into Aries, the universe is going to be like, to all of y'all. Be like, it's time to do something. So let's start. So what's blocking our root chakra this week is the Hermit, the Ace of Wands, and the the Eight of Swords. So some of you, I mean, there's a lot of different messages this week. Also, I do have the Akashic records open currently. I always forget to say that earlier. But there's kind of a lot of things going on. Some of you have been really dragging past Pisces season just a tad bit longer than it needed to be, even though you have the opportunity to come out of it and do something with it, do something with the energy. It's almost like it moved into a different house and you just don't want to do anything in that house. Like if you are following astrology, but you're seeing stuff appear in that house, but it's like you don't know, you just don't want, you're just not with it. But the problem is that the opportunity lie from what you already know, the illuminations that you've gotten. It's just that you just don't want to do anything on the stuff that you know, and it's kind of like, what are we talking about here? What are we doing? How are you moving forward? How are you being stagnant? Every season is like the worst season to be stagnant because they just don't have the time to be stagnant. They don't have the patience for it either. So it's like, andale, like, can we do something? Can we try something else? Can we just, you know what I'm saying? Can we get the ball rolling here? So the blockage is that some of y'all is just in y'all mental feelings. If that makes any sense for my Virgo moons out there, my Gemini moons, my air signs. Yeah, there's just like it's just a stubbornness. It's like an out of ego thing, especially for my Virgo placements out there, because this is a Virgo card after all, coming out really strong. If you're falling into the natural habits that like a Virgo does when there are kind of just trying to make a decision but taking 5 years, don't forget that even though, you know, Virgo is technically an earth sign, it's kind of grounded air, so it's supposed to move. Like the stagnant, it's not supposed to be stagnant like air, like it's supposed to move. That's why Gemini flows the way it does, and it can't be stagnant. They can't Geminis always kind of need to do something. They need to kind of be doing something actively, mentally, interactive. Like it needs to be, like, it can't be bored. Like we can't be out here trying to live that life. But there is a stagnation here where like this kind of hermit like wanting to hide, wanting to not be present, even though you're being called out to be present. You're being pulled into different situations. Let's go out to the birthday party, let's go out to the bar after work, let's do the stuff. And it's just more like there's opportunities are showing up, but you're not actually taking them, even though you should, because they're trying to lead you to a different direction. Because you don't know who you could have met at the bar. You don't know what opportunity you could have met. Like you could have like met someone who like it's in doing the similar thing that you're doing, and they need help, and they were looking for a person. You don't know what opportunity is waiting for you, but there is an opportunity there, and it's meant to ground you for the new year. This is something that, especially with the Ace of Wands coming out like right at the root chakra in Aries season, right from the get-go, this is something that's supposed to be grounding for the rest of the year, and you're kind of blocking it. And the best way to heal that, we have the Ten of Cups and the Six of Wands. So it's kind of like, first of all, check your ego, because that Six of Wands is like you're on a high horse. We get it, but this is the best high horse to be, because you're like aligned, you're feeling good about yourself, you're everything is kind of going well, you're not like struggling, and there's like good vibes. It's just like a really good energy all around. That's kind of what the Six of Wands is, but it really deals with the ego. And if you don't have a healthy ego, you can't feel good. And if you don't have a healthy ego, you can't manifest this type of like emotional abundance. The Ten of Cups is absolute happily ever after bliss, and just being in being in that moment, being in that space, letting yourself be happy, letting yourself be enjoy, letting yourself love, and just be, letting just yourself be. And but the problem with the Ten of Cups is that it takes a little bit longer to manifest. You have to let it happen naturally. You can't really force it. You could do spell work, and you can, you know, ask for it, and you know, you can work with deities, you can do a lot of things, but ultimately you have to wait for it to come in. But you kind of have to be open for it to even happen. You have to speak of it as if it's already here. That's why y'all saw literally all my past videos, I told y'all that big was coming. I told y'all that. I kept getting a message that, oh, and if you follow me on Instagram, you know why I'm saying this. I told all of y'all, I was like, I asked, I petitioned to the ancestors. I asked them, I was like, listen, I need to be in a healthy relationship. And I literally asked for exactly what I wanted, and exactly what I wanted is what I got. And I told you, I kept getting the message, she's coming, she's coming, she's coming, she's coming. And look at that. Where are we now? So it's mostly like you need to be open to the happily ever after possibilities of your life. And if you don't take the opportunities, even though they seem like they have nothing to do with the thing, they could completely be what shifts you into the direction that you needed to go. So root chakra, y'all need to get it together, okay? Y'all need to check yourselves. Y'all need to like stop dismissing things. This kind of reminds me of the movie Yes Man, where he just starts saying yes to everything, and not I'm telling you to say yes to everything, but like he starts saying yes to different things, and then his life completely changes. He meets the love of his life. It's like it turns into this whole oh my god, look what happens when I'm open. Look at what happens like with Jim Carrey. Look at what happens to me when I actually stay open to things, when I say yes to other people, when I give people opportunities as well, when I say yes to them just as much as I want to be said yes to as well. And it just changed his complete dynamic. His even when he didn't want to say yes to things, it kind of pleasantly surprised him. So it's kind of like that thing right now where it's just kind of like, listen, if you have a green light, just take it right now, because you don't know where it's leading to. Now for the sacral chakra, we have the Nine of Cups in reverse and the High Priestess in reverse. So some of y'all mad, some of y'all still mad. Somebody read your card, somebody told y'all something, somebody read your astrology reading, that somebody done something this year, and they told you that some was coming, something was on its way, you were gonna be, and this blah 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 blah, and y'all is mad because y'all is not there yet. So there is a level of kind of mistrust and just like anger about just the fact that you don't have the thing that you were told that was coming your way. However, you have to understand that if you block your blessings the way you are in the root chakra, you can literally block the thing that was told to you, that was in your energy field for coming in, to like actually not come in, because it's like you're telling the universe that you're not even ready for it. So it's kind of like, okay, well, I guess I'm not ready, so I'm not, let's just swerve that. They need another lesson to come in, so let's just throw them that, you know, let's just throw them that. So this is about really not only when you, first of all, when you turn this around, the Nine of Cups is to me, it's a very egotistical card, because you have a person that's sitting around all his trophies, all dandy, feeling happy about it. This is somebody who literally got all of these silver cups up there, worked hard for them, all of these things, feeling really great about themselves. So this is a very egotistical card, because you have to be feeling good in order for you to be out here crossing your arms like, yeah, I'm the boss, like what? So this has to do with the ego. And again, you have the root chakra telling you to check your ego, you have the sacral chakra telling you to check your ego. And then with the High Priestess in reverse, especially when you always want this to be upright, because this lets you know that you are in your spiritual power. The High Priestess rules that space of spiritual power. She also rules divine love. That's why she rules all the twos in tarot. So for example, the Two of Cups, the Two of Pentacles, so that ebb and flow, all the lessons that the High Priestess brings with the number 2, it's in the cards that she rules. And so you have to kind of look at those cards as what they bring, the energy and the ebb and flowing of what the potential energy that she brings, the things that she sees, the things that she knows that is coming, her inner knowing, her higher self. This is higher self level energy, because when you are aligned to your higher self, you are your own high priestess. You don't need anybody else to read your cards. You don't need anybody else to help you with spell work. You don't need anything like that. But in between the time, you can get messages as confirmation from people, sure. And maybe this was something that you already knew, but it's almost like you're second guessing yourself and you're second guessing other people. You're second guessing the universe for saying what it is that the message that they already gave you. And ultimately, the answer is to you really need to check yourself. For how to best heal this week, we have the 5 of Cups, we have the Moon, and the Hangman in reverse. So for my people in the back who are just not trying to use this Aries energy, the universe might actually push you a little bit with this Aries energy. You might actually get triggered into shifting it anyway, into moving, into making a decision this week, because Aries doesn't have the patience. That's not what the energy of Aries is. So you're gonna have to do something. You're just going to have to. There is no, like, for all my cardinal signs, you're gonna get triggered this week. I'm not even looking forward to the Aries moon. Aries moons don't sit well with me astrologically. When you look at my chart, it always squares everything. I'm just like, ugh. So it's like I can't sleep properly. It's a whole thing. I'm enjoying this Pisces moon right now for what it is, but when it moves into Aries, I'm gonna be like, it's gonna be my 9th house. So I guess I could plan all of my trims and stuff, but it's just like a headache a lot of the time. But for my cardinal side, for my Capricorn sign, it gives me a boost. I sleep less, but I get to do more work, so there's that. But again, Aries are very short fused, so there's an energy of like that Hangman, like it's like a response to the Hermit in the root chakra. It's like, okay, you've thought enough, you've already contemplated enough, you've thought about this enough, you've stressed about it enough, it's time to move now. You've illuminated your brain enough. That's why, like, you need to accept the lessons from the high priestess by turning this upside down, the Hangman being upside down, and coming out of that illumination with some progress, with some action. And that moon's gonna trigger you accepting the truth that came out from the situation that kind of made you flip over like this. And it's just really about accepting your emotional trauma this week, which you're trying to bury down, but it really shouldn't be there. For some people, this is generational trauma, so please do that work if you need to do it. As always, some of you definitely need to open their Akashic records and do some past life work, because it could just be ancestral generational work. So if you need a reading, you can book it on my website. For the solar plexus, the blockage is the 3 of Wands and the Queen of Swords. So not only is this a lack of actively mentally going forward with your direction that you want to pick, but this is an indecisiveness. This is kind of knowing where you want to go and knowing when you need to go, but not moving, not taking the step. And there's a level of, because you know, you should already be able to speak it into existence, say what needs to be said, make the moves, literally put your willpower into it. And the ego and the willpower is a huge problem this week, and I kept seeing it because it's popping up in different areas of the reading, including the solar plexus. And you know, if the solar plexus is blocked, that's what rules the ego. So that's a problem. So when it comes with the Queen of Swords, it's like, hey, you need to be clear on your next steps. You already illuminated yourself. You already try to grant yourself on all these ideas. You already know the opportunities are coming back. So why aren't you taking it is a question that I'm asking, therefore. So what's up? Like, you need to stand up on this hill with this 3 of Wands and really look at your opportunities, look at everything that's around you, and see how you're going to address it, how you're going to make more time for what you want, how are you going to move on it, which connections can help you, what can you do to better your circumstances. Do you know people that can put you in the right path? Do you need to network more? Do you know how to go about that? Do you need to go back to school? What is the path that you're taking? Be clear on it, then act on it. There is a, like, 1, 2, 3, like 1 + 2 = 3 type of, 1 + 2 = 3 type of energy, where it's like, okay, you figured this out, you got cleared on this, now you got to do something about it, and then it equals, you know what I'm saying? So there's kind of a need to make a decision, and you need, in order to do that, you have to use your willpower, and it has to be like you making that choice, so it's not something that surprises you. Best way to heal that this week, we have Judgment and the Tower in reverse. So again, it's not something that needs to be a surprise. Like, you get to decide how this shit goes down. Nobody else should get to decide how it goes down for you. It should be you saying, okay, you know what, this is like if Uranus was standing by watching you, like saying, okay, so either I'm gonna come and wreck that whole entire situation for you and just take it away from you, I'm gonna give you a chance to do it yourself. I'm just watching from the sidelines, and if you don't do anything about it, I'm gonna take it from you. Best believe it will be taken from you. You will have to get pushed into doing something. But for now, it shouldn't be a surprise to you what you need to do. You should already know. You've already like processed it. There is a judgment factor through this. Like, you've already gotten the downloads. You've already spoken to the X, Y, and Z, spiritual leaders, all these things. You've already done that specific work. It's time to move now. The tone that you set for this year, it really starts in Aries season, because it's the beginning of the astrological year. So it's time to make moves now. Like Pisces season, yeah, I was telling y'all to take a cue and, you know, do the healing and do, you know, because it's Pisces season, do the dream work, get creative, do all the, you know, but Aries season is not about that. Aries season is about the journey. So what does your journey look like, and why are you going to let some of it be a surprise? You should at least have some things in the year that you're looking forward to, that you're planning out long-term wise. And then yes, some things are going to surprise you, some things will be in alignment, some things are going to push you into the alignment, but you should at least have some sort of plan, some sort of direction of what you need to do. Now, for the heart chakra, we have the King of Cups, we have the Four of Swords, we have the Wheel of Fortune, we have the Four of Pentacles, and then we have Temperance. So this whole story that's in here, yeah, so some of you definitely do need to go into the records and do some healing. There is a sense of meditation, there is a sense of having to go in deep to heal. And I love this card because it looks like he's giving him Reiki, even though he's like praying. He's giving him Reiki in this card, so I really love that card. But the Four of Swords hints at a processing of the emotional state with this King of Cups, you becoming stronger, aligning your heart chakra, because this is where we heal our past life traumas from, with going in deep through the crown. So your heart chakra is hinting at how you will be getting your healing. You'll be getting your healing from accessing your crown and then going into your heart space. So that's how, especially if you do a past life, if you book a past life reading with me, I would guide you into that meditation. And after we read the records and we discover what trauma it is that's currently emotionally, physically, mentally, spiritually, all of it, like affecting you in this lifetime. But there is something very emotional, and it's something very kind of like, it's a turbulence. It's something that doesn't, it hasn't emotionally been, it's been an emotional hindrance, and it's been something that has been kind of crippling you into being emotionally stable, whether in relationship or just you yourself spiritually even. But there's like a need to move out of that energy, like to shift into it, to break it apart, to kind of heal that. But it's kind of almost like it's just been kind of brewing underneath there. So if you've kind of felt like you've been repeating lessons with someone or with multiple people, if it's like the same thing, like, why am I stuck? Why do I feel stuck? There's like a stuckness that can get really shifted if you take the time to actually heal it. And Temperance hinting at that Sagittarius, Jupiter, higher education, higher knowledge, higher, like that connective, like the expansion of what you think is possible, especially with healing, especially with the records. So there is a need to do healing with the records this week. That message is coming in hard, because some of you guys are just, it's almost like you're too stubborn for your own good, but you don't even know how to explain why. You don't even know what, and a lot of this has to do with the self-love aspect. Like, some of you are having a really hard time understanding you because you don't know how to process the trauma that's happened before and how it's affecting you now. And it could be that you were like a different person. Obviously you were a different person. You're not always the same person, but you could have done something that's affecting you now that maybe it was negative, whatever it may be. You never know. I think everybody's fear every time, like, I go in to do the records is like, oh my god, I killed someone, I was a murderer or something, like, I did something really bad. And yeah, sometimes, you know, people have, but you don't get judged for a different lifetime that you've already experienced. You heal from it, and you try not to make the same mistakes in this lifetime. That's the whole point of it. So there is a need to emotionally heal some different things. So for the how we best heal this week for the heart chakra, we have the Five of Swords and we have the Nine of Pentacles. So there is a reflection of how the mind heals the physical self, and there are a lot of different meditations that you can do that will heal you from when you are, I can feel like I've been wanting to make a video on how meditation can literally cure anything. This is literally this would literally be the video right here. But it just has to do with you being able to heal yourself on a spiritual, mental level, and how that reflects physically. Because anytime I've ever done a reading for someone, is always like, and I always ask them, like, how are you feeling? And it's always like, oh my god, I feel a lot lighter. I feel like I have a baggage off my shoulders. And that's kind of really what it is. There's like something like that's just, it follows you in every single lifetime up until you heal it. And then when you do, then you feel like this. And it's about addressing these traumas and these just constant issues that we have, repetitive. Like I hate repeating myself. I'm a Capricorn. I hate repeating myself. It's a waste of time, so I can't do it. I hate it. So for me, it's important for me to not do this, which is why, like, the way Capricorns are, and I'm gonna get to this when I make the Capricorn video as we dive in more into astrology, but the way Capricorns are, when we process things prior to what to them even happening. I was actually talking to my girlfriend about this because she has a Capricorn moon, so we're very similar. She like, I told her, I was like, I kind of, when I was little, I would be like, I would process stuff before it happened. Like, for example, like, how would I feel if someone cheated on me, for example? Let's just use that. How would I feel? How would I process that? What would I want from the situation? Like, I asked myself a bunch of questions, and it's almost like I questionnaire myself, and I'm like, okay, how would I feel about that? Would that feel good? What would be the solution? Could I, like, heal from that? How would I heal from that? How would I process this? Could I see the person the same way? Is it like a possessiveness to just want them by myself? Is it would it be fair to the both of us if I stayed or if I left? Would it be what makes sense to me? Like, how based on how I love, how could I feel with this person later on, like, as how would I feel? And then I would just start kind of going through this whole mental process, and I'll pick someone or whatever, would it be an ex or something, and I'll be like, and I'll have this whole fantasy of them cheating on me, and I'm like, okay, so that's kind of how I feel like it's feeling. So even if, mind you, picking an ex and then, like, kind of going through the mental process without feeling anything for that ex, it's just mainly the issue. So I would basically create an issue in my head, and then I would go through the motions mentally of how I would process it if I was in that situation. So I would sit down, I'm like, okay, so if that happened, okay, so what's right? What do I think? How do I feel about that? If this person does, I mean, okay. And ultimately, I would come down to a conclusion that I felt very aligned with. So if it ever happened, I would already know how to react. Literally, Capricorns do this. We're gonna get into it in the Capricorn video, but Capricorns do this. We are really active in wanting to already know how to react, so we could just do it a little quicker. In many ways, we kind of relate to Aries in that way, even though Aries kind of reacts to things really quickly. The way they process is very, very fast. But Capricorns, we like to take our time because we want to make sure we have a good reason. We want to make sure, like, we're grounded in the reasoning, that it makes sense, that we could explain it, that it's logical. A lot of the time we try to be as logical as possible. We try to make it as easy as possible for it to make sense. So it's kind of like, it's just a process. So for me, I hate doing, like, this type of stuff when stuff keeps repeating and stuff. That shit drives me crazy. I'm like, wait, what is a lesson? I would start asking myself, especially because Capricorn rules, because of Saturn, we also rule karma, so we're very karmic, and so for me, I'll just start looking into the lessons of other people, like, okay, what did this person teach me? What did I learn? What did I get from this? And especially if I got out of a relationship with someone, I always ask myself, okay, what did I get from this situation? What did I learn? What was the highlights? What are the bullet notes? Like, what was it that why did I have to go through this in order for it to, how did it impact me? Like, all of these type of questions. And that's how I would process that. in a healthy way. And this is how I would release that. Now, all of the other signs are not necessarily like this. Everybody has their own process. Some of the processes are not to be shaded, but some of y'all don't know how to get over stuff. Y'all, my Pisces out there, y'all know I love y'all, but y'all don't know how to let go properly. Y'all take 5 years. Y'all really do though. So not every sign knows how to properly, like the air signs, deuces. All the air signs know how to let go. Fire signs is a little bit hard because they can stay. It's the passion that keeps them there. Like if they felt that spark, when you ignite fire in a fire sign, they kind of always remember that spark. So it's kind of hard with fire signs, occasionally, except for Sagittarius. Some of y'all Sagittarius can just be out, like, yeah, just be like, water signs, yes, I mean, I feel like Scorpio's probably the easiest, which is hard to say, right? Scorpio's probably the easiest as far as letting go. Cancers, they don't let go. Pisces, they don't let go. But Scorpios would. It's just that it takes them a while and it hurts. So they might, if you have a healthy Scorpio, they might not sting you, but most of the time they will, which is fine, because why you hurting a Scorpio anyway, unless it was like a toxic thing, then I get it, I guess. But and then when it comes to earth signs, I would say Virgo's really stubborn. Tauruses can be super stubborn. My sister's a Taurus moon, and she's a Capricorn sun, but her Taurus moon is dominant, like, and we're talking tea now, but seriously, when it comes to the way signs process different things, like my sister, it takes her a cute, maybe 4, 5, 6 months to, maybe 4, I mean, she still has her Venus in Aquarius like me, but that Taurus moon, like my moon is in Gemini, so most of my love energy is air, so it's like I can let it go, you know what I'm saying? But she holds on for a while. That Taurus moon is like the possessiveness thing. So sometimes some signs have a harder time than others in letting go, and it's in the process of how you process different situations. If somebody cheated on you, if an opportunity came by, if like just something random. I process random stuff. That was just an example of cheating that I gave, but like I processed the randomest thing, like what if this happened to me, what would I do in this situation? So it's kind of just like, how are you reacting to what's happening right now? This is literally what this reading is. Like, how are you reacting to your emotional state? How are you reacting to the opportunities that are coming your way? How are you reacting? Like, did you process, like, when you thought that you wanted this, how did you picture yourself having it? How did you react to it when you were like, oh, I would like to meet, I don't know, the love of my life, or I would like to have this opportunity, or be in this level of the company, whatever. How did you continue that kind of like daydream? What did you do next? How did you react? What did you do? So there is a need to kind of process and not repeat things right now, because Aries also hates repeating stuff. So the energy right now is just really like fiery and emotionally gonna just spark with that new moon in Aries. So there's just a need to process, address, but not repeat the karma. Yes, I hope that story helps. Anywho, so for the third chakra, we got the King of Cups and we have the Ace of Pentacles. So yes, some of you, y'all want bae. I'm gonna just say it that way. Y'all want bae. Y'all want an opportunity. Y'all want to have the manifested emotional opportunity that you want, but you're blocking it because you're not putting it out there, and also because you're holding on to things that you shouldn't be holding on to. Blocking your intuition. This is the best way to heal, by the way. Blocking your intuition, blocking your opportunities, blocking the things that are being, like, the way has been shifted to you. You're just blocking it. And the best way to heal that this week is to take on that full energy, which is to go on the journey, to decide to go on the journey and be open to the journey. And again, that's very Aries-esque energy. The third chakra is always like mad fast, because it'd be like, one, say what you need to say, do what you need to do, like process it, speak it to exist, because that's how the air signs are anyway. They're very quick. They're the quickest out of all of the signs, I would say. I mean, fire is quick, but no, air is quick. It's just, it's like the wind. It just blows. You need to go. You need to go with the flow. Say what you need to say. Keep it moving. Go, flow, go. Like, let's go. So it's just about setting the intention. If you're gonna set the intention to go on that journey, to take on something, to manifest something, especially with this new moon in Aries, you better be ready to actually take those opportunities as they come your way, because it might actually manifest faster than you think. Because Aries moons they're a trip. Alright, so blockage for the solar plexus. No, I'm sorry. The third eye. We have the Four of Cups, and we have the Knight. The King of Swords. We have 4 Cups and the King of Swords. So, I mean, y'all know that some of y'all don't listen to your intuition. It's really sad, and it's like there's like a higher knowing with this though. There's like divine communication happening. There's like answers to communication. There's just like next level. Like you're able to. You could tap into your own abilities to do this, but you don't, type of thing. It's just, there's just kind of like this bitterness looming, and so you block your intuition with your own energy, with everything else. That ego, you didn't get what you want, and so you're not going to be in your own power, basically, is what that is. So it's just like it's just kind of sad. It's just kind of sad. And at this point, because of that Aries energy, the best way to heal it this week, we got the Chariot and the Knight of Swords. And you guys know the Knight of Swords is very aggressive, very bold. And the Chariot, that would be like that Cancer card. So it's a kind of like nurturing, but it's that cardinal energy. It's like, if you're gonna move, you're gonna make these moves. And Speedy Gonzalez, like, right now, let's go. I don't got time to waste. We don't have time to do this. It's like the cardinal gets triggered. Nobody got the time to be sitting down doing nothing right now, and that's kind of really what it is. When it comes to your third eye, if you know something, that's what it is. Move on it. Move on it like the way a Cancer moves, emotionally clear, but healthy Cancers. Emotionally clear, intention set, working with the moon, because that's what they rule by. Working with the moon, tapping into your intuition, but moving from that, because the water signs rule intuition, okay? And so when you have Cancer, Cancer's a cardinal energy of that. So you see how it wasn't Pisces that came out for this. It wasn't Scorpio that came out for this. No, it was Cancer, because you're being asked to move on your intuition, and that's what the third eye is. You actively acting on what you know. That's why the sacral chakra looked the way it did, because you need to act on what you know, okay? Okay, so I was blocking the crown chakra. We got the Two of Pentacles in reverse and the Page of Cups in reverse. So again, this part, the upper chakras, really have to do with you not only using your voice and speaking stuff into your existence, but also processing your intuition, and not blocking it. Make sure it's flowing, because the crown chakra's blocked because your intuition, your third eye, is blocked. So you cannot see, you cannot connect, you cannot listen, you cannot hear, you cannot move. It's like you're crippled. You're spiritually crippled. You're just not moving. You're not letting yourself move. And it's really about getting clear, cutting it out. Best way to heal that this week, we have the Nine of Swords and the Ace of Swords. So it's telling you to pick. This is a choice. Okay, so pick a card. Pick what you want. Do you want the blessing of the Ace of Swords? Clarity, peace, communication, open communication, opportunities, divine love, because that's another thing that it brings. Divine love, understanding, cutting off of negativity. You literally, this is just the Ace of Spades. Actually, the Ace of Spades is actually the Ace of Swords in regular playing cards. But this is the card that you want when you need to cut the bullshit. Is the card. So pick a card. Do you want to be the Nine of Swords, being like actively letting yourself get depressed, actively letting yourself get down, actively not doing what you know you need to do? Or are you gonna just take one of those swords and cut that shit out? Because at this point, it's a choice. You know that you've had the opportunities to do stuff and you said no to them. Okay? This is why this doesn't look good anymore. This little game thing, that was cute in Pisces season. And it's fine. And I know some people, and I hate the word suffering, because when you say, I suffer from this, you're just putting a spell on yourself saying you're going to suffer from that forever. Like, no. Some of you guys, I know, go through this. okay? Go through depression, go through these problems and these issues, yes. But sometimes you are presented with opportunities that you kind of just dismiss, and you kind of, instead of being able to come out of it and actually getting what you want, you do this. So you're gonna have to decide. You're gonna have to pick a card. Pick a card. Pick what you want, especially from your crown chakra. You can even have a clear, flowing crown chakra where you're divinely connected to your higher self, and you're doing your divine purpose and following your divine path and living your best goddamn life out here. Or you can be stressing out. You can be frustrated. You could be heartbroken. You could be depressed. You could be alone. You could feel like shit. It's just nonsense. So pick your card for this week, because when it comes to Aries energy, especially with this moon, it's gonna be like you need to pick a road. Like Aries are all about the road. They rule the journey. So pick which road you want to take for this year. What is your theme? What do you want your theme to be for this year? Pick it. Alright. I'm looking at all of y'all. Y'all be driving me crazy out of these streets. Alright, so let's pick Oracle card. For this week. Okay. I'm getting attacked. I can't stand y'all. I really cannot stand y'all. Yeah. I can't stand y'all. Okay. So, y'all want to know which card came out? I'm going to let you know right now. This is actually very Elegua energy, so that's interesting. Making a choice. You are required to come to a decision now. You're faced with a dilemma or a fork in the road, and you must make a conscious choice regarding your next action. Whatever the choice is, you must take responsibility for it, yet you needn't be afraid. You may not have all the answers right now because of the way ahead cannot be known until you've embarked and traveled a few steps. Trust your intuition. Ask for a sign from Spirit, and you will be led to the right path. If you remain conscious and aware, your choice will be the right one at this time. Life is always about learning. Success lies in choosing consciously, guided by intuition and spirit. Why do I do tarot readings? That was literally like the whole damn reading. Anyway, so I will see you guys in the next video. The Botanica Hall and the empties videos will be posted tomorrow, and I am working on the set meditation. I just need to finish the music for it, so stay tuned for that. I have a bunch of videos coming this week, so stay tuned. Tomorrow's gonna be a busy day. I will see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe.